Namaskaram friends. So in this video I am going to talk about gross domestic product GDP. What it is, what is its definition, why it is calculated, and this term is related with in which arena. Okay. So basically gross domestic product is used in the arena of economics. Okay. We calculated with the help of this GDP, we calculated or we estimate the growth trajectory of any country. Okay. So it is basically a gross domestic product. It is basically a final goods and services produced within a country in a year is called a GDP. That means in a particular country, let's say India. So within the boundary of our Indian country, within the boundary of the country India, that product is the final good and services is produced and within a year. That means not, let's say in 2022 only, in 2022, in this year, in this particular region, how much amount of in which you can say what amount of goods and final goods and services produced is calculated as a GDP. If investment from other country came, it is also calculated in GDP because that investment produce, you can say we use that investment in creating infrastructure, and that infrastructure is benefiting us in terms of toll, in terms of other resources. So it is calculated in GDP. But let's say foreign national, we are Indian citizens but living abroad. Okay, so that income is not calculated, or you can say goods and services produced by that member, that citizen is not calculated because it is produced outside of our country. Okay, so definition of GDP is within our country and within that year. So that is produced outside our country. It is you can say money earned or investment, or you can say money earned or by foreign nationals, or you can say Indian citizen NRI, if they earned any money or if they produce any final product in other country, it is calculated in GNP, gross national product, but not in GDP. So basic difference is what is GDP, what is GNP. Uh, um, Goods and services produced by NRI is calculated in GNP, gross national product, but not in GDP, gross domestic product. But investment in our country is calculated in GDP. So we are now very briefly we are going to talk about GDP, some other components, some other, you can say, bullet points related to GDP. Okay. So GDP, gross domestic product. GDP is the value of final, remember final, not intermediate, goods and services produced within a country within a year. Within a country, within a country, within a year, and final goods and services. All these three keywords are important. Okay. Indian national, you can say NRI, living abroad do not contribute to India GDP. If Indian NRI who are living abroad are not contributed to India GDP, they are how they are contributed to India's GNP because they reside outside our country, no? And the definition of GDP is within our country. So Indian national residing in any other foreign country is not contributed in GDP, but they contributed in GNP because in gross national product we calculated the final goods and services of all citizen of our country, okay, who either live abroad or within a country. Okay, let's say Ratan Tata, their company Jaguar, if any profit or if any goods and services generated by that company, it is calculated in GNP but not GDP because it is produced outside our country. Okay, next one is, but the gross capital investment made during a financial year directly account as a part of GDP. Okay, gross capital investment. If any foreign national, foreign country directly invest in our country, that is calculated in GDP because it directly account as a part of GDP because it creates infrastructure which has a economic value. Investment create infrastructure which has economic value. That's why it is calculated under GDP. So remember, GDP, GNP, what is under GDP, what contributed in the GDP, what contributed in GNP, and is investment a part of GDP or GNP, and foreign national, or you can say contribution of foreign national is calculated in GDP or GNP. So all these questions are clear through this small topic. Okay. So this picture you can clearly see a logo of GDP. Okay, all over the country, this concept is accepted. Okay, and yeah, related with economics. So remember GDP, GNP, uh, capital investment, and foreign or Indian national residing outside of our country. So these are important. Which one is under from contributed in GDP, which contributed in GNP, what are its role, what is its definition. Okay, and final goods and services within a year, within a country, within a year is a definition of gross domestic product or GDP. So now we are going to solve one question based on GDP. So gross domestic product of India. Remember India include gross capital investment made in India during a financial year, yes, because it create infrastructure and it has some economic value. Investment create infrastructure and it has some economic value. So it is actually a part of a final goods and services within a country. That's why it is come under GDP. Value of goods and services provided by NRI. No, it is not under GDP because it is NRIs are residing in any other country. A definition of GDP is within our country. So this one is wrong. That means option A is correct. Just check we are on the right path or not. Option A is correct. That means we are on the right path. So I hope you understand the basic concept of GDP, its importance, and in which area it is read or it is studied. So I hope you love this, enjoy it, and gain some perspective out of it. So namaskaram. Thank you.